is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to another edition of The Local Show here on GrassRoots Community Network. I'm Erik Skarvan, your host. Thanks for joining us, guys. And thanks for joining us, our YouTube audience and Facebook audience. Really pleased to be here this week as we work our way well into July here on our summer series. So happy to have a good friend back on the show and the executive director of the Chris Klug Foundation. But first, we've got Olympian, top-rated real estate professional, and founder of the Chris Klug Foundation, Chris Klug. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Erik. Thanks for the nice intro.
Air five.
Virtual high five.
Virtual high five, there you go. And virtual high five to you, Lauren Pierce.
Lauren and I are socially distancing here. So
Yep.
I noticed that. So we want to talk about that. We had our masks on coming into the Red Brick. Mm-hmm. We're distancing here on the set, trying to play it safe, and healthy. And we're going to start with that, you guys, because, we have to kind of touch on COVID. But the way I like to angle it is, some of the good things that have come out. MSL, I like to say more silver linings. Mm-hmm. But I'm also going to twist that a little bit, and we'll start with you, Chris. The biggest challenge coming through this and the biggest reward or silver lining coming out of this, recent crisis.
There's obviously a lot of challenges. I think one of the things for me, not that this is necessarily the biggest challenge, but I think one of the hardest things, and I see it especially with my kids, is we miss our friends.
Yeah.
I think one of the most special things about this community is the people, that live here. And obviously our mountains are as spectacular as you'll see in the world, and the trails and the rivers and all of the activities we love to do. But, the community is pretty special.
Right.
And the people. So I miss our friends. Right. I went hiking the other day with Bob Wade and David Clark. We went and did Bell's Traverse, and I think I talked Bob and Dave's ear off for 13 hours straight because I hadn't seen any of my friends. I was just like, the whole time. They're like, dude, how do you shut this guy up?
I can kind of relate for some reason. But social cabin fever, right?
Completely.
All of a sudden you want to get that social, and it's like just waiting to catch up with people. I totally understand. Yeah. And I've been doing that a lot with my family and friends over the phone, which is nice, but still not the same, as in person. And what about some of the, one of the better things that's come out of that? I guess maybe appreciation of friends and family could be a natural.
Well, I think the writing was on the wall for us in March. We, Missy, my wife, and I recognized that we probably weren't getting on a commercial flight this year. And so we upgraded our camper. And we've done some amazing camping trips with the kiddos, with our two kids and Missy and I, and some great quality family time. And I would like to think some trips that the kids will never forget.
What's the camper? Is it one of those pop top? What kind of camp?
We got a Taxa Cricket. It's a little pop up tow behind trailer that fits in our garage. So in the wintertime, obviously with snow and having to winterize it, we don't have to deal with that. So
very cool.
And we've had some great adventures. The kids love it. In fact, we drove across Texas to South Padre, Texas to go kiteboarding.
Wow.
And I said to Missy, there's no way I'm doing this if we can't do it 100% safely.
Yeah.
And we ended up going for a little over a week. Never went in a restaurant, never went in a store, never, made any stop except for grabbing the gas pump, putting it in the car, putting it back, hand sanitizing your hands.
Quick credit card slide, and that's about it.
We slept in our little camper. We brought our own toilet. It was amazing.
Pandemic pod.
Exactly. Totally self-sufficient. We went kiteboarding, jumped in the car, and came home.
That's so cool. I know. It's the summer of the road trip, Lauren.
It is.
And what have you appreciated? I guess start with maybe a challenge that you've experienced and maybe some of the good things.
I think I have to echo Chris with seeing friends and being able to be with friends and family and that challenge of also if you are going to get on the river with friends, it's not just navigating the logistics of who's going to run shuttle and where are we going to do all that. It's like, okay, I'm going to ride with you in this car and we're going to wear masks and roll down those, and that's been a challenge. But I think the silver lining too is being able to step back and really focus on family. And I think on the foundation side, we're so small, but we are working nationwide. So we travel a lot, and that diminished. I mean, that cut out day one. We were supposed to go to Children's Hospital and visit with pediatric transplant patients, and we had to cancel right away. But then we were able to shift and adapt, and now we've got almost an even stronger program than we did before.
Wow.
So I think there's a lot of silver linings that's coming out of this, and it's rough day to day, but I think big picture, we'll look back and kind of look at things differently.
It spurs on creativity, right? Innovation.
Exactly.
And then sometimes those improvements
Yeah.
that normally wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
Unless you were kind of forced into it.
Yeah.
It's so
So
cliche,
is it-
but it's a great opportunity for all of us to improve and
Exactly.
focus on maybe how do we get through this, and
Yeah.
how do you improve as a person. And I always relate it to Fabricini. Bill used to always do testing on me in the spring and the fall, and you check your quad strength versus your hamstring strength, or check your shoulder mobility, or whatever it was. And he'd look at me and say, Chris, I can't believe you're performing at that high level with such weak calves or such limited ankle mobility, or whatever it was. It was always something. And I'd be like, Bill, dude, you're my friend, you're my trainer, you're my best friend. Like, stop beating me up. You're supposed to build me up and help me be more confident. I'm getting ready to head to an event or something. He's like, no, he says, this is an opportunity for us to get better. And I think Lauren hit it on the head. And I was like, geez, he's like, you're performing at such a high level with these weaknesses or these shortcomings. And if we can tweak those and make it a little better, imagine where we're going to go.
Right.
And I think Lauren really just hit that on the head. Like with the foundation, we had to sit back with CC Cunningham, our program director, and Lauren, our executive director, and say, okay, business isn't out as it was. The world's never going to be the same, and that's not all bad. Mm-hmm. There are some silver linings. There are some real positive things that are going to come out of this, like our ambassador tour. Yeah. And we usually go to University of Colorado Hospital or NYU or Mount Sinai, and we do a live panel discussion with our foundation, and we get 50, 75, maybe 100 people in an auditorium. But now we're going to do it virtually, and we're going to have thousands from across the country that can participate in an ambassador panel tour with people representing sort of all aspects of organ donation, from the medical side, the donation, the organ donor family side, recipient side, from candidates. And it may be hosted by the University of Colorado or by Mount Sinai or by Duke or another transplant center. But doesn't matter where you are, you can participate. So I think there's some real silver linings in that too.
Broadens participation, it sounds like, on both sides, from the expert side, disseminating information, and from the participant side, those who want information.
Exactly.
Virtually, you can bring in so many more elements and more people. So maybe more value, at that point. I mean, when you have more reach, you have more value, right? Because it's more awareness, and the more experts you can bring in, giving out this information is better.
I think that silver lining kind of does, to culminate, it's like we're looking more at quality versus quantity. Where we used to do 125 events a year nationwide, and now we're going to focus on 6 webinars that almost are going to reach so many more people.
That's amazing.
That I think quality over quantity is what we're getting out of this.
That's the mantra.
I can identify that as an aging athlete. It goes to quality, not quantity.
Aging, you still kick my butt. I don't want to hear this aging stuff.
Well, Maroon Bells comes up in 2 weeks. Actually, we're going to talk about that in the main body of the show, your bike racing, because you've been at it. I haven't quite started yet. So we got so much to get to, you guys, but we're going to take a quick break. We got to get you guys some beer like I'm drinking.
Give the liver boy some beer. That always helps.
Perfect. It's all about
I'll
health.
drink his.
It's all about safety and health.
Hydration. Hydrate or die.
So we're going to take a quick break, guys. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes with Chris and Lauren. But I do want to thank Klug Properties, Aspen Square, CMC Aspen, White River Overland, Live Aspen Art, Picken County Landfill, and Sundog Athletics. I finally got them memorized through that thick head. We're going to go to their messages. We'll be right back, guys. I do want to thank so sincerely our summer underwriters for making these inspirational shows happen each week. Hope you get a chance to see our 1-hour special edition with John Oates from last week. Thanks to our underwriters. You guys, we got so much to get to and so many things you can take advantage of coming up, so don't go away. White River Overland specializes in camper van upfitting and overland outfitting. Catering to mountain dwellers and outdoor enthusiasts, many of WRO's builds are purpose-driven to facilitate and enhance skiing, cycling, camping, climbing, and river adventures. Nestled in the White River National Forest, close to the deserts of western Colorado and Utah, WRO also rents camper vans and accessories. More at whiteriveroverland.com. CMC is preparing the people who make Aspen work. CMC Aspen collaborates with the community, providing skilled workers, future leaders, and problem solvers, meeting our economy's needs, ensuring opportunity and workforce integrity for generations to come.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Live Aspen Art is a working studio at the base of Aspen Highlands. Come meet the artists and view both finished pieces and works in progress by owner Olivia Dane and visiting artists, or take private art classes offered for kids and adults. Olivia's recent works are also on view at Opera Gallery at the base of Aspen Mountain. For more information, contact Olivia at 970-379-2539 for an appointment or visit liveaspenartgallery.com.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Thanks for sticking with us here on the Local Show, featuring inspirational locals each week for the last 17 years. Unbelievable. And it's great because you're actually featured in the open of the show, buddy, and we're shaking hands. You know, back in that time when we could shake hands.
Yeah.
Your
I wonder if that's coming
your
back.
hair's a little different color.
My wife just cut my hair this morning. She used
You're
my
lucky.
son River's clippers. We made two great purchases before COVID. My wife got a new clipper set for my 6-year-old boy, which I've been benefiting from, and the price is right.
Yeah.
You know, the haircut price is right.
Yeah.
And a good friend said, "Hey, I've got an extra Peloton that I'm not using. Would you like to use it?" And this was like 2 weeks before COVID. I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take it." I literally thanked him every day we were in lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
How
awesome.
fortuitous.
Yeah, it was good.
But I think that also you bring in good things into your life, you know, because I mean, I've known you as a long time as a friend, and positivity brings more positive. You know, it's like a negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. John Oates actually talked about the law of attraction last week a little bit, and how we bring those things into our life. And it might just seem like happenstance and good luck, and luck, I think, is when preparedness meets opportunity. And we talked about some of these opportunities coming out of COVID. And you also had an opportunity to catch up. I think you said a 13-minute dialogue, or 13-hour.
We budgeted
different 13-hour dialogue with local Bob Wade, who owns the Ute Mountaineer, well-known mountaineer and athlete.
I think
and
we
David
budgeted
Clark.
about 8 hours, and it took 13 hours. I was out of water the last 5 hours. I was
Well, when
thinking
you
about
talk
Aaron.
more, you get more dehydrated. You know,
I was telling Bob, I was thinking about Aaronlston, going, I am so
gosh.
parched after 5 hours. How did he do 90+ hours without much to drink? I was dying.
Well, Aaron was willing to drink pretty much anything. So
No kidding. I wasn't going there quite yet.
yeah. No Aaron Ralston incidents. You
No,
walked with all
no.
your limbs and all.
I did darn near
all
lay
well.
down in the creek, though, when we got to the trail leading up to Buckskin, though. I was cooked.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So you head on up to Buckskin.
Yeah, actually, so we took of course, got dropped off by Bob's wife at 3 in the morning. She's a good sport.
Wow.
At Maroon Lake, and then walked up towards Crater Lake.
Okay.
And you keep going between Pyramid and between the Bells, and we veered off to the right towards Maroon Peak.
Okay.
And then walked up the South Couloir. So when we hit the snow, we put on our crampons and ice axes and headed all the way up the South Couloir. And
Wow.
that's pretty much a no-fall zone.
Yeah.
And I had my crampons with 2 really sharp points on the front of the crampons, and I was just boom, just driving my toes into the, the ice and the snow, making sure that you got a good purchase, and then just like on all fours crawling with the ice axe. And you don't really want to look down because you don't want to fall, and you make sure that your crampons are nice and tight. And Bob kept an eye on me, make sure I wasn't screwing up.
Was it really a fearful thing, or were you just
really,
kind of just more focused and aware?
I think that's exactly it. And I said that to Bob, and we went with our friend Dave too.
Okay.
And I said to him, I said, I'm not sure I got scared, but I definitely got focused. I'm not sure if I was scared there or not. Probably a little bit, but I was not talking as much during that point, and definitely focused on each step.
Yeah.
But you get up to the top of the saddle then and lose the crampons there, and like, okay, glad I got off that safely. And then we just summited South Maroon, or Maroon Peak, which I'd never been on. That completes the Elks for me.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, which was really neat. My 6th summit here in the Elks, and beautiful. It's always fun to climb to the top of a mountain that you haven't experienced here, in the Roaring Fork Valley and in all these drainages. And then we did the infamous traverse from Maroon Peak over to North Maroon. And that definitely had a few pucker factors along the way.
Yeah, some loose rock maybe falling. And
the Elks
like that,
are all, I guess, with the exception of like the Knife Edge and Snowmass Peak, which is good granite. All this sedentary rock is just big loose rock piles of the Elks.
Exactly.
And so that's the main thing you got to look out for is goats or other people kicking a rock on your head. So we were pretty careful. And I took a rope in a couple spots. The exposure was significant, and didn't want to make a mistake. I didn't find the climbing to be really hard, but kind of a couple spots where it's a no-fall zone for sure.
Have you done a lot of climbing?
I'm 220 pounds, dude. I don't exactly have the physique for climbing, but I do enjoy it.
Maybe some indoor racing at the Arc up the climbing wall?
With my kids.
Yeah. I like that. I'm good with that.
We go to the climbing wall at Hidden Meadows up at Elk Camp.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
And it's awesome, but my kids can outclimb me easy. At 6 and 9 years old, they're just zooming up and down.
Wow. That's amazing.
But I've done a little bit. I actually used to when we were on the circuit, snowboarding circuit. We'd always travel with harnesses and did a few really cool via ferratas in like Cortina area and the Dolomites and Sud Tirol, as well as over in Piemonte where we had the 2006 Olympics. So those are pretty cool. So I've done a few adventures like that, but this was a good one actually. The traverse was always a bucket list item for me, and
no kidding.
Yeah, it was neat. Like I said, especially with what's going on in the world, to escape. Yeah. With 2 good friends and shoot the breeze for what ended up being 13 hours. Towards the end, I was a little delirious. I'm sure we had some good jokes and some good moments, but really neat adventure.
Sounds like an epic adventure.
Oh, and
awesome. And then, it's the camaraderie,
exactly.
the hanging with the boys part
exactly.
is so big. And Lauren, you've been picking up your athletics recently. We were talking a little before the show about
a little bit. Getting out on the river as much as I can. And
you're training for the
I am. I committed.
CKF challenge.
Exactly.
I am. I'm going to ride 50 miles on my road bike.
Nice.
I'm going to clarify, road bike, not mountain bike. I need to get a mountain bike. Then I
not e-bike either, because that's a whole nother, no soft pedaling.
So, So starting to get on my bike again, because we're doing the CKF Century Challenge. It's a virtual challenge to replace Leadville. Leadville, unfortunately, was canceled due to COVID, and now New York City Marathon. Those two were our big events. We had team members in our charity slots that train all year and dedicate so much time and effort, and they're all committed to doing the race in 2021. So we're happy for them.
Be back next year.
Yeah, exactly. But we introduced this CKF Century Challenge, so it's a virtual challenge that everyone can do nationwide, wherever you are.
Cool.
And it was a thought to replace Leadville, which is 100 miles. So you can do 100 miles, run or ride, and then we broke it down from there. So you can do 50, 25, or a 5K run walk.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm signing, so team mom and dad are getting signed up for the 5K run walk.
Well, a little more welcoming than Leadville, right? I mean, it's like it's just the hardcore, at that point. So some of these adaptations, can you kind of put a wrap on that, or point people to where they can find out more information?
Yeah, our website, chrisklugfoundation.org.
Okay.
And then our Facebook page, we're going to have ads. We're going to be pumping it out there and getting as many people as we can doing that with us.
Very
and then
cool.
Speaking of virtual, we're going to add a virtual element to Summit for Life. So
Okay.
we are planning Summit for Life. It is going forward. I know a lot of people have been asking, well, does this mean the Summit for Life is canceled? No, absolutely not.
They're already thinking about it, which is mind-blowing.
I know,
At
right?
the beginning of the summer. And
As long as Kiko and Picken County allow us to do it, we're going to do it. And what we're thinking is like a 2 or 3 hour open start mat.
Okay.
So if it's not your immediate family, you can't start next to somebody else.
That makes sense.
That's not in your household.
And time trial.
And it's effectively sort of a time trial, and you can start anywhere between whatever it is, 4 and 7 on the start mat, and the finish mat will be open the same time. And get to the top, there'll be bonfires and dry clothes and a snack, and you head down the Gandhi, grab your grab-and-go dinner from Ajax Tavern.
Perfect.
Go home, and we'll have a live virtual broadcast with the awards and the Bounce Back Give Back Award winners and the
neat.
Michael Wells recipient presentation. And
That's
so
a cool way to do it.
We're thinking
You
hard
still
about
have
it.
the awards. Maybe some music? Do you guys
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
usually do a live
We've
band?
got bands signed up already. Yeah.
Okay, we're
hoping we can pull it off.
We're getting close, guys, but we want to get to a video. Lauren, can you kind of prep us? We talked about the patient ambassador tours that you guys usually tour to the hospitals, and now that's going virtual. Can you give us just a brief kind of, I guess, intro to this video?
Yeah, this intro is kind of our intro video that we also use when we're sending it out to new hospitals and new transplant centers that we're going to go visit. And it just kind of gives an overview of what we do with that program, the patient ambassador program visits and panel tour. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a peek at that, and we'll be right back.
The Chris Klug Foundation is dedicated to eliminating the wait for those on the transplant list by increasing awareness and sharing the facts about donation. Our mission is to inspire and educate young adults to increase registration for organ and tissue donation. We also aim to improve the lives of organ transplant candidates and their families by promoting life-saving donation, expanding awareness, and increasing the registration of donors on the state and national registries. We strive to inspire the gift of life by sharing stories from those given a second chance. This is where the Patient Ambassador visits and the Patient Ambassador panel tour began. The Chris Klug Foundation Ambassador Visits and Panel Tour, presented by Astellas, helps to inspire those going through the transplant process that anything is possible after receiving the gift of life. Your hospital, transplant center, dialysis center, OPO, or support group can host a visit or panel tour. Through our Patient Ambassador Visits, Chris Klug and/or a transplant recipient who would resonate with your patients would visit one-on-one with them and their families and/or caregivers. From the Ambassador Visits, we grew to our Patient Ambassador Panel Tour. We coordinate with your staff to produce a panel discussion consisting of 2 or 3 inspiring recipients or donors, and a transplant doctor, medical advisor, or coordinator from your team, and Chris Klug as the moderator. Our goal is to share the stories from all sides of the transplant community to encourage a positive conversation that'll help to improve their quality of life post-transplant, giving hope to those going through such a life-changing experience.
It's pretty cool how these virtual events have expanded, awareness, expanded influence, allowing more people to participate. But guys, we're down to just a couple minutes, and we have some of the advice we hear is about masking and distancing, and you guys have these great CKF buffs. Can you elaborate kind of on being safe and healthy?
We brought you a Live Life, Give Life CKF buff.
Thank you.
So you can rock that buff in the buff if you want.
I need to get buff.
Exactly, and get inspired to get buff. Yeah.
So it'd be the only thing I would have on. Maybe a couple tips like Lauren, just being safe and healthy during this crazy time.
Yeah, I think
this is about safety.
Yeah, I think there's a whole big argument right now about masks, but like you don't know who you're sitting next to. This is the first time I'm sitting next to Chris since March, because he's immune suppressant. I have friends that are pregnant that I can't visit with. So you have no
What are you
idea.
saying?
Yeah.
It's COVID-19 right here.
The first time a man's ever been pregnant in history.
Yeah.
More
But I
silver
think
linings.
Like you're sensitive to like seniors or kids, but then you have no idea what's behind the facade of anybody.
Yeah.
And you know, we're sensitive to Chris, but then the whole community has different levels and reasons to be just more conscious and nice.
I think it's all about, you know, respecting one another and taking care of our community.
Exactly.
I don't have all the answers. I'm not Fauci, and I don't know if I'm overreacting or underreacting or somewhere in between, but I think for the sake of my parents and for those that are more vulnerable in our communities and in the transplant community being immunosuppressed, you got to take care of each other
Exactly.
and figure out how to, I know it's cliche, but get through this together.
Yeah. No, I mean, together means together. And if we
Yeah.
all take part, we all take the basic measures,
Exactly.
you know, we'll save lives. And that's what this show's all about. So
Love it, brother.
good wrap, you guys. You guys get special gifts. Did you guys have fun on the show today?
Always.
Yes, thank you.
It's extra special now. We haven't seen enough of our friends, so
I know.
thanks for having us on.
Another
Yeah,
great
thank
social
you.
I get to sit
opportunity.
next to Lauren for once in the last 4 months.
Yeah.
It's a safe and social show.
There you go.
So thanks you guys for joining us, and thank you guys for watching this week on The Local Show.